Welcome to the ArmaniTalks podcast. I'm your host, ArmaniTalks. In this podcast, I'm helping you level up your 5 soft skills: public speaking, storytelling, social dynamics, emotional intelligence, and creativity. 5 soft skills for you to change your life forever, skyrocket your confidence along the way. In today's episode, we are entering the world of storytelling, and I'm going to be talking about the show Beef from Netflix. That show was good, and if you have not watched it, I would highly recommend that you do. It's about 2 people that get in a road rage, and after getting in a road rage, they keep trying to one-up each other in terms of getting their revenge. The show has a lot of nuance and layers within it, where if you're a foreign kid, you know what I'm talking about. You understand how there are immigrants that came to the US that don't quite know how to communicate with their parents. That lack of communication makes it hard for them to express their feelings. And since they're not capable of expressing their feelings, what happens is that they have a lot of internal rage. The show is so freaking good. And the thing is, it's pretty well known that it's good. Whenever you're talking to people, they'll say, yeah, the show Beef was good. And they'll say it was good for a couple of reasons. And these are reasons you should keep in mind, especially when you're trying to improve your storytelling skills. Number 1 is that it's just one season. I'm pretty sure that they're going to add in more seasons later. But if they stop it, then I believe one season does the show a lot of justice. We as humans, we don't like to focus too much. So if you keep making us focus a lot, we're going to get somewhat annoyed with it. So as a storyteller, I recommend that you keep your talks a little bit shorter than you're used to. If you are given 10 minutes of time, every now and then it's smart to make your speech 9 minutes. You don't have to always go over the time limit because you can't wrap it up. Whenever we're watching basketball, which player do we respect more? The one who takes 50 dribbles to get to the rim, or the player that takes 5 dribbles to get to the rim? The 5 dribble one. Another thing that's good about Beef is that it's what I call dramedy. There's a mix of drama in it with comedy. If it's too dramatic, what happens is that it's very tough to consume it. But whenever there's some bursts of laughter, it makes you more engaged in the content. So whenever you're telling stories, you don't want it to be so freaking serious the entire time. Every now and then, you just want to break out of the pattern and make your audience laugh. And an easy way to do this is to notice your facial expressions. If you're talking about something very serious, most likely your face is going to be very serious as well. Momentarily break into a smile and you will be tempted to tell a joke. So that's another lesson you could learn from Beef. It's what I call dramedy. And the third big lesson from Beef is that each of the characters have their own unique story, and each of the characters, their stories began to intermingle with one another. This is very unique because a lot of individuals, whenever they're thinking about storytelling, they're just thinking about protagonist, antagonist, and that's it. For the side characters, they really treat them like side characters and that's about it. Where Beef turns the side characters into different versions of the main characters. Because the main characters, their stories are intertwining with the side characters, and sometimes we're thinking, wait a minute, is this a side character or a main character as well? Whenever we're thinking something like that, chances are the storyteller has gotten us really involved in the story. And at that point, we want to consume the content more. We feel as though this show right here, it's here to stay. We know these characters. They're somewhat like our family at this point. So these are some lessons from Beef that you want to apply to your storytelling skills. This show is making a splash to this day. Whenever someone is watching it, they're like, man, this is good. And I'll give you a bonus tip since you made it this far. Beef is one of those shows where you're not supposed to spread it out and watch it. You're supposed to actually watch it and finish it within a weekend, right? The show is meant for you to binge watch. And when you do spread it out, the same magic isn't there. I know this because I've watched Beef twice. The first time I finished it within 3 days, and I loved the show. And the second time, I believe I spread it out because I was watching it with someone via a Skype call. And to coordinate the Skype calls, it takes some time. So we ended up taking roughly 3 months to finish it. And it just didn't hit the same. Beef is made to binge watch. And whenever you say a show is made to binge watch, that's when you know the show is really freaking good. So Beef is a classic. I really enjoyed the show. And if you have not watched it yet, I highly recommend that you do. For more insights into storytelling, be sure to check out my book, The Art and Science of Storytelling. Within this book, you will learn much more about creating relatable characters, create vivid settings that capture your audience, and how to sprinkle in lessons within your stories so your audience learns about life through your tales. Check out The Art and Science of Storytelling in the links in the description box, or go on ArmaniTalks.com, hit shop, and grab your copy today. Thank you very much for joining the Armani Talks podcast, and I will catch you next time.